Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Mike Ayley, the bassist guitarist for the pop rock band Marianas Trench. That's where you may know him from. And he's now under the name Mike A, who has just released your first solo project, an EP called Golden Hour First Things First. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Shelby.
Definitely glad we're able to speak today, Mike, because we definitely got some fans here in the border city from Marianas Trench alone. So really glad to be able to speak with you on your first solo project. So this EP came out on October 18th. So that's just recently. You've proven to be very talented in other ways other than being a part of Marianas Trench. Now you got your own solo project, you're singing. So tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, it was my COVID project. It was my save my brain and save my motivation and my intellect. I was shriveling into a raisin because I was playing video games and eating everything in sight. And once I realized that this COVID thing was going to be a while longer, I decided to do something productive with my time. In Marianas Trench, I go to the studio and I give some ideas to these mostly finished projects that Josh has demoed, and then we tweak them and tune them up. But I've never had to do the recording myself, so that's always been a bit of a hurdle. And then over that time, I finally had a clear block of my life where I could learn the recording software and get down some of my own ideas because it made me happy.
That's really good to hear you're able to use that free time for this. Now, what can you say for fans and listeners on what they can expect with this EP?
So I made a point of just trying to keep it honest. The reason I called the EP Golden Hour is because I find that time of the day is a real mixture of emotions. It's beautiful and the sun is going down and there's all this magic in the air, but at the end of the day, when you start the day, the other golden hour, you've got your hope, you wake up optimistic, you've got your to-do list, you have things you're hoping will happen, you met somebody, you're like, oh my god, I have a crush on somebody, I'm going to see them later today, or you have a job interview, an artist or whatever it is, but you're all this excitement, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like there's an accounting that has to take place, whether it's conscious or subconscious, of the things you did accomplish, the things you didn't accomplish, the disappointments, the successes, the joys and the sadnesses, and there's always a settling that has to happen before you go to the next day. And I think that's a good symbol for all of life. It's not just life is good or life is bad or today I'm happy, today I'm sad. It's always more complicated than that. And I thought these songs are about subjects that are more complicated than that. Like the love song isn't just, oh, I fell in love with this girl. It's like I fell in love with this girl who it was a magical day, but at the end of the day I had to leave, and that's a true story. And I thought I'd never see her again. And it's this cool mixture of like the beautiful falling in love feeling of like dreaminess, but then the sadness of leaving. And of course it worked out. She's my wife and we have a baby and everything's great. So that's good. That's a good story. And then other ones are, but all these other weird sort of moments in life, not just, oh, I went to the bar and I partied and had fun, or I fell in love and this girl's hot, or like, I feel like it's better to talk about real life stuff.
And from what it sounds like, some of the songs sound like it's not only inspired, but send out some good messages. Are you kind of hoping your listeners will understand some of the life lessons you're singing about?
Um, I don't know. Actually, that's interesting. Like with Mariana's, a lot of the time we'll come across people who discover the music, and they usually just connect in their own way. And I don't want people to be like, this is what the song means. And if it doesn't mean that to you, it's wrong. It's not like that. A lot of times I've had songs where I loved and I had the words all wrong in my head. I couldn't tell what they were saying. But with what I thought it said, it was very personal. And I just, if anybody can hear the honesty in the performance and the emotions coming through in the music and the words, and then connecting it their own way, then that's success right there. It's just something that's emotional, and it's, like I said, it's because it's so complicated. To expect it to be received one way is presumptuous, and then just to hope that it connects is all I ask.
I think it's really awesome that you're hoping listeners will take their own opinion and message out of your songs too. I love that.
It's actually funny, and I think on the EP it's the second song, Up Up Up. I was literally about to start singing, like he pressed record, the producer pressed record, and I was standing there in the vocal booth. I was like, wait a second, can we talk about this first line? I don't think this first line is good. I think it's like this. And then it's like, and in the second verse, maybe, and we ended up sitting down back in the studio for hours rewriting all the words. Like we kept it as the skeleton, but I realized it was too specific. There were a lot of like inside sort of lyrics that would only mean something to the people who knew the story. And I was like, that's not the point. That's for me. I wanted to make it a little bit more appealing to everybody and not to be commercial, but to not make it automatically irrelevant for people.
And with this EP coming out on the 18th, have you seen some strong support and good response so far?
Amazing. You know, I like to count my streams in millistreams because then I'm on the same playing field as the superstars, and I have millions of millistreams.
Oh, that's great to hear. I'm not too shocked that you are seeing some strong support. You know, it's kind of expected, so that's really good to hear. And for people that just want to look more into you and kind of find out what else you're up to, can you kind of give us a little teaser on what you're working on right now? Any future projects you can let us know about?
I'm always chipping away at more Mike stuff. Mariana's has begun the next album. The concept is amazing. It could potentially be awesome for the show and everything. And I also like my wife and I have done Christmas songs the last couple of years, and we have another one coming this year, and it's been recorded and mixed, and it's ready to go. And that one's really, really good too. So there's tons going on at all times.
Perfect, Michael. I'm so glad we are able to speak and help get the word out about this new solo project you just released. So thank you so much for joining us again today, and really happy to hear about your solo project and all the good things you've been working on.
Thank you, Shelby.